Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's expert webinar titled AWS Identity and Access Management. I am Ria from SpringPeople. We are India's largest enterprise training provider, and I will be your moderator for today's session. In today's session, we have Mr. Parul Kundra with us, a prominent figure in the world of cloud computing and AWS. With an illustrious career spanning over 15 years, he boasts a remarkable list of qualifications and accomplishments. Mr. Kundra's skill set extends to SQL and PL/SQL, demonstrating his prowess in database management. He is also a proficient problem solver using Python, C, and C++, and has a solid grasp of data structures, showcasing his versatility in the world of programming and technology. Having conducted over 100 AWS corporate training sessions, Mr. Kundra specializes in preparing individuals for certifications such as Solution Architect, Advanced Architect, Cloud Practitioner, and System Operation Associate. His training methods are renowned for their effectiveness. Mr. Parul Kundra will let us know about Introduction to AWS S3, storage classes of S3, along with their cost and use case, S3 versioning and its importance. To all the participants, you can mention your questions in the chat box and it will be answered at the end of the session. Now, without further ado, let's start today's session. I would like to invite Parul Kundra to start the session. Over to you, Parul.
Thank you very much, Rhea. Thank you so much. I think there was some misconfusion. So here we are today for AWS Identity and Access Management, and S3 was somewhat which I took in a previous webinar. So here in this particular webinar, I'm going to start with very important service of AWS or of any organization, and the service of AWS is AWS Identity and Access Management. Now, what exactly we are going to discuss in this complete 1 hour, that why AWS Identity and Access Management, and then I'll be creating a user by assigning both authentication and authorization, and then understanding IAM policies, identity-based policies, and resource-based policies. Now, this is what the today's agenda, what we are going to cover. Now, coming back to why I said this is one of the most important service. Now, let me draw a background for you to understand what exactly I'm trying to say. Now, whenever you join any organization, fine, whenever you join any organization, or let's say you are part of an organization and your organization started with cloud. So obviously your organization will ask you to work in one of the service of AWS. There are 200 plus services we have in AWS. Now, no one can work on all 200 plus services. Let's talk of some major AWS services. Let's like virtual servers, S3, which Reha was talking about, storage service, elastic file systems. Today, identity and access management, we are going to discuss. Like this, we have CloudWatch, and there are 200 plus services we have in AWS. Now, every one of us cannot be comfortable or cannot be expert in all 200 plus. Some of we might be good or working in virtual servers. Some might be on storage, some on file system, some on identity and access management, some on monitoring services and all. Now, in that case, your organization will give you some authentication and authorization. Let me take an example of a participant here is Sandeep. Now, Sandeep is a part of organization. Now, organization wanting him to do something on servers. What is server? EC2. Here in AWS, we call them EC2. I know you all are aware of EC2. So EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, which is nothing but virtual servers in the cloud. Now, when Sandeep will be assigned with some credentials, so he'll be getting two things. One, authentication. Authentication, that is user ID and password to access AWS account, user ID and password. And second, authorization. Authorization. Now, Sandeep will be authorized to do something. Either he'll be authorized to do servers, either he'll be authorized to do something on storage, or on IAM, or on something. Like this, if I am in our organization, I'm a trainer. My job is train. Can I approve my own attendance? Very soon I'm going to get salary. Now Reha is the one who is going to approve, and Reha, my manager, is going to approve. And now after that, Reha comes, it comes to Reha. So everyone in an organization have some responsibility, and they are authorized to do something. Even me, Reha, all of us have authentications, user ID and password, and something which we are authorized. Can I approve my attendance? No. Can I get my salary by my own? No. Account teams will take care of. So this is how organization. So this is why identity and access management is important. So let me show you the first slide. Why AWS IAM? Now, IAM is Amazon Web Service that helps you to securely connect, securely control AWS resources. So if I have a EC2, that is server, would I like that everyone can access this server? I have a storage. Would I like this? Everyone can access my storage. I have something cloud monitoring service, CloudWatch. Would I like that everyone? No. For someone, I'll give this permission. For someone, I'll give this permission. And for someone, I'll give this permission. So I'll use IAM to control who is authenticated and authorize, that is what credentials he or she has and what permission is has she or he has to use the resources. So here, so with IAM, I'm going to go with both authentication and authorization. And trust me, this 1 hour of training is going to make you very, very good, which is going to develop a very good understanding of IAM. It's my promise. It's my promise, and I'm very sure I'm going to fulfill my promise with all of you. Be here, listen it to me, see the practicals, and you will learn. Now think of an IAM tool to centrally manage no access of launching, of configuring, management account, and whatever. So much theory. I don't like theory. Let's go and do something on AWS. So this is my AWS console. Now this is my AWS console. That's perfectly fine. So what I wanted to show by this, I don't wanted to show you. I just simply wanted to sign it out. So I signed out from my account. So let me show you my actual account. So this is my account, AWS training account, and let me sign out. Myself, Dr. Parul Kundra. Reha has already introduced me, and this is my AWS account. So whenever I have to access my AWS account, consider this is an organization. Let's say it's TCS, HCL, Vanguard. So they have their own account, main account. So they'll be simply signing into the console. So when they sign into the console, now we have two methods of signing into the console. One, as a root user, the owner of account owner, and one IAM, a user to whom, my employees. So I'll make my employees to work in my account. So I'll click on next, my email ID, my password, and when I sign in, I'm inside my AWS account. So you can see right now, everyone, I am inside my AWS account. This is master account, or you say root account. The root has a privilege of doing everything. I can do anything. IAM, S3, EC2. These are my recently visited services where I was working for Glue, Athena. Overall, there are 200 plus services, and whatever service I wanted to do, whatever I wanted to create, whatever I wanted to delete, I can. But would I like this to so let me read the name of my attendees today. So I have Ajay. Would I like Ajay to access my servers? If Ajay is part, will I like Aarti Joshi to do something today? I will only want what I can give to Ajay or Aarti. So in that case, what I'll be doing, I'll be creating a user. So let's say Ajay or Sandeep is part of my organization. Whatever I want, I can do. So I'm in Mumbai. I go to EC2. EC2 is nothing but virtual server. If I go to EC2, I have so many servers which are in stop state. Even two are running state. You can see two of my servers are in running state. Now if I want, I can stop them, I can terminate them. So if I want whatever I want, I can terminate them, I can stop them. Now the thing is this, it might be a critical server for me. So in that case, I'm the owner. I'm not going to do, I'm going to hire employees and I'm going to give them some permission. So that is what this course is all about. This agenda is all about. This webinar is all about. So today we are going to understand identity and access management. And let's take one of you and create a user. So what am I doing? I'm starting with something. So let me first discuss what exactly. So I have shown you. So when I signed it, so I signed it as a root user because I'm the owner. Consider me as TCS, consider me as HCL, consider me as Vanguard, consider me as SpringPeople. So I entered, but you will all enter today. You will access my account via IAM. So I will make you, one of you, two of you, IAM today, and will allow you to access AWS account. Whose account? Mine account. Who am I? I am Dr. I'm Dr. Kundra. Fine. Or I am HCL, or I am SpringPeople. Now what happens? So I'll be creating a user. This user has permission of S3 bucket, storage, servers, or IAM user list, while user 2 has permission only of EC2 and S3, while user 3 has permission of IAM user list and S3. So this is what, no, I can create user accordingly. Now what is this? What is S3 full access? If you know, it's good. If you don't know, I'm just wasting your time. I'll not waste your time. I will do all these things practically and make you understand. So let's start. So I'm taking a scenario where I'm going to hire, or I'm going to hire one of the employee today. So what am I going to do? I'm going to hire one of the employee today, and his name is Sandeep. So let me hire Sandeep today. So I'm hiring him today, and I'm going to give him both authentication and authorization. Authorization. So let's start with that. So slowly we'll do that. So how to do that? How to create user? I'll go to IAM, Identity and Access Management. I'll click on IAM. So when I click on IAM, it will take me to AWS IAM service. Now I'm inside my IAM. I have so many, already I have so many 34 users. I'm going to create one more user. So in IAM panel, you can create groups, you can create users, you can create roles, policies. Today I'll be discussing policies and users. In my next webinar, I'll be purely discussing on so many other services because we are here for 1 hour. So I'll click and create user. So I'm going to create a user. I'll simply go and click create user. My user is Sandeep. So let me write Sandeep. So Sandeep is my user. I wanted to provide my user management console access. I want my user to access AWS via console. Yes, I'll do that. This is what when you have multiple AWS account. Right now, I have only one AWS account, so I'll create IAM user. Do you want to generate auto generated password or custom? I say no. Sandeep is very well known to me. I'll give my password, SANDEEP@123. So I said, Sandeep, this is your password. Now Sandeep said, hey Parul, I don't like this. I said, what happened? Said, no, I don't like this. I don't want anybody to know my password, no matter how good relations I have with you, but I don't want you to have my password. I said, okay, let me check this option. User must create new password at next sign in. It is okay with you? You will be having your own password. Now Sandeep said, okay, Parul, thank you very much. When I click next, now I'm having three options. I can add Sandeep to the group. I have so many groups: AstraZeneca, Deloitte, DXC, Geeks, HCL, PwC, Sapient, TCS, Vanguard. These are all my clients to whom I take, I give trainings. Now I said, Sandeep, I cannot add to you any group. Then he said, what is this, Parul? I said, copy permission directly. So he said, Parul, I know Abhinanda very well. Can you copy her permission to me? I said, no, I can't do this. I'm hiring you today. You have to wait for third-party verification. I can't do this now. He said, Parul, what is this? I said, I can attach policy directly, and I have around 1423 policies with me, out of which some are AWS created policies and some are my created. Some are customer created policy and some are AWS created policies. He said, can you give me one policy? I said, no, as of now, I'll only give you authentication, no authorization. So I simply clicked on next. And what I did, I simply created a user. So what I did as of now, I created a user. I said, Sandeep, this is the link via which you are going to access your AWS account. He said, what is this, Parul? I said, this is nothing. This is my account ID because I'm the owner, I'm the HCL, I'm the TCS, my account ID. This is your username and this is your password. Now, what Sandeep did, he copied the link, he went to his browser. Now whatever you are watching is Sandeep browser. So he simply pasted the link like this. He simply pasted the link like this, and now he'll get to access AWS account via IAM, not via root user. So see, I'm the owner. This is my account ID, Parul Kundra account ID. Now, what is the username? Sandeep. And what is the password? SANDEEP@123. So let's see whether he is able to access something or not. So when he entered as per the promise, yes, he's getting an option to change a password. So his old password was, And let me change. So this was his old password. Let me change his new password, and don't expect I'm not going to tell you anyone. No. Now let me click on confirm change password. Now when Sandeep did that, now Sandeep has changed his own password and he is inside his AWS console. So Sandeep at the rate Parul Kundra. So 8764 is mine. Now he know very well that Parul has not given him any permission. But he knows that in Parul account in Mumbai, there are multiple servers running. So if you come to AWS training account, so if you go to EC2, here you can see multiple of my servers are running. Let me show you. First of all, mine. So Sandeep has an idea. So here in Mumbai, one of the server is running. And even if I show you multiple servers I have, you can see I have so many servers in Mumbai, which are installed. And I have so many storage also. So let me write S3. So this is my account, not Sandeep's. So let me show you some storage also, S3. So be here. So you see, even in my account, there are 21 buckets, S3 bucket. Now let's jump to Sandeep's account, Sandeep at the rate Parul Kundra. Sandeep knows very well that Parul has EC2, many EC2 in Mumbai. So he simply clicked on EC2. He simply clicked on EC2. When he clicked on EC2, first of all, so many API errors. And when he clicked on running instances, what message? Hey, Sandeep, you are not authorized to perform this operation. Means I'm telling, AWS is telling, hey, Parul has not given you any permission right now. You are not able to do, even you're not able to see the servers. Now he went on S3. He says, yeah, I know Parul has multiple S3 buckets. S3 is a storage device. So he went on S3, but I have not given him anything as of now. So he went on S3 and he simply clicked on S3 and he wanted to see what buckets Parul has. And he's getting, hey, you don't have any permission. Now it's almost 2 days. Sandeep came back to me. Now this is me, myself, AWS training account, Parul. Sandeep came back to me and said, Parul, I said, what happened? Parul, I'm here for 2 days. I'm not able to do anything. I said, were you trying to do something? He said, no, I was not doing anything, but I wanted to do. I'm here for 2 days. I said, let me tell you a very good news that I had a very good third-party verification of yours. You are an excellent employee and let me give you some permission. So where I am, I'm in my owner's account, root account. I'll simply go to user, return to user list. I have 35 users, out of which I have to give some permission to Sandeep. So I selected Sandeep, I clicked Sandeep. And now what I did, my dear participant, I am going to add permission and I'm going to add permission. So when I am going to add, I'm again getting three options. I can add him to a group. I can copy anyone's permission or I can attach policy. So what am I doing right now? I'm attaching a policy. Which policy? So let's say S3. So I'm giving him S3 full access, means he can do anything on S3. Full access means anything on S3. He can create bucket, he can delete bucket, whatever he want, he can do. And not only this, I'm giving, so 1 out of 1422 selected, and I'm also trying to give him some one more policy, let's say EC2, but this time I'm giving him only EC2 read only, that you can only read. Now let's say what happens. Now out of 1422, two policies attached. Now when I go down and when I click on next and when I add permission, Sandeep is very happy now. Now he has two permission. One permission, he can do anything on S3. One, he can only read EC2. So he went to his account, Sandeep's. This is Sandeep account. And here previously he was getting, you have not permission to list bucket. He started laughing. He said, you don't know what Parul has given me. He simply refreshed his link. When he refreshed his link, now see what Sandeep can. Sandeep can see all the bucket of owner's account, Parul Kundra's account, and not only do, he can do anything. If he wanted, he can select any bucket and he can empty that bucket. He can delete that bucket. He can make whatever changes he wanted to do. So wanted to delete something, let's say he is typing permanently delete, Control C, Control V. Now let's see whether he can delete something. Who did this? Sandeep. How many objects he deleted? Two. Why? Because I did one mistake. I gave him S3 full access. Now whatever he want, he can do. Even he want, he can create a bucket as well. So if we click on create bucket and he give a bucket name as Sandeep 1221 and let's say he's simply trying to create a bucket. Let's see whether he is able to do or not. Yes, he has created a bucket. Now in my account there are 22 bucket, and one bucket is what Sandeep 1221 bucket, which just created right now at 4:51 according to Indian timing. Now he knows that he has something permission on EC2. So he went on EC2. He simply clicked on EC2. He simply clicked on EC2. But I have only given him EC2 read-only permission. So try to understand. He went on Mumbai because he know that Parul has multiple servers in Mumbai. He went on Mumbai. Now Mumbai, how many instances he can see? One instance running very happily. He's very happy to see that one instance is running. And when he click the filter option, he can see the stopped instances because I gave him read-only permission. But if he try to stop a server or start a server, whether he'll be able to do that or not. So if he go to the instance state and if he tries to stop a server, so let's say he's trying to stop a server, will he be able to do that? Oh no, you are not authorized to perform this operation. Now here comes Sandeep says, now Sandeep is getting an idea. Parul has only given him all the permission of S3 full access, but very least permission on servers that he can only see servers. He can only describe servers. Other than that, he cannot do anything. But tell me one thing. No, now if I go to AWS, or forget about AWS. Now I'm asking with you guys. Now I'm asking you with you guys that giving S3 full access is a right thing. S3 full access is a right thing. Access is the right thing. Absolutely wrong. Today I'm having good relation with Sandeep, but tomorrow if I don't have, he can delete whatever he want. He can do whatever he want. So S3 full access is not something which you give. So these are predefined policies. Now I'm going to create my own policies. Fine, that is customer managed policies. And S3 full access is something which you should not give it to anyone, because even well architected framework, there is one pillar called security, and security says follow principle of least privilege, that don't give anything extra to anyone. Now I'm going to do something good. So what am I going? I'm going to create one more user. This time I'm creating, I have 29 users with me, and I'm going to create, let's say, I'm going to create Sandhya. So I'm going to create Sandhya with some limited permission. Now let's see, what am I trying to tell you is, so what I wanted to tell you is that I'm going to create one more user. And for this time, I'm using a policy, and the policy which I'm using are user created policies. Now, customer created policy. Let me show you first policies. So I'll go to policies and let me show you what policy I'm going to attach. So this is my account, AWS training account. I wanted to show you some my policy which I created. So I'll go to customer managed policies, and here I have one policy called S3, let's say policy for read only. Let me open this policy. How to read a policy, everyone. So policy is nothing but a JSON document. No, so understand. So policy has some elements like effect. Effect, let me delete this. Effect is something which has only two options, allow or deny. So this is allow policy. What I'm giving, I'm saying action. So you can list all my buckets to whom I'm giving this policy, can list all my bucket and all resources, any resources. And next also I'm saying allow for what? Listing the bucket means you can read the, means you can list the objects in my bucket, and what you can do, you can also read them. But which object, which bucket? I'm giving you ARN number of my bucket, that is policy based bucket only. Let me show you what I'm trying to say here. If I go to S3, everyone, what exactly I'm trying to say is, now everybody see to it. I think I'm having bucket. So to whomsoever I'm giving this option, I'm saying that you can only work on policy based bucket. So I have created a policy based bucket, and this is the ARN number. ARN stands for Amazon resource name. So this is ARN number of that bucket. So in my policy, if you come back in my policy, I have given ARN number of policy based bucket. So this is policy I've created, and I'm going to give this policy to restrict someone. So what I'm trying to do is that, see, I'm going to create a user simply. I'm going to create user. I'm going to give a user, create a user Sandhya, Sandhya. Now I wanted to provide management access. Yeah, I wanted to create IAM user. Now password is, let's say, so I have given some password. I don't wanted to change any password in order to save the time. Let me click on next. I'm going to attach policy, but this time which policy? S3 policy. But what in S3? All types know customer managed policy. What is customer managed policy? Let me show you. So I have this policy S3 S3 policy for read only. So I'm going to give her this policy. With this policy, she can list all my bucket, and she can only list the object of policy based bucket, and she can read the object of. Other than that, she can't do anything. Let me show you. So what am I going to give? I'm going to select this policy, and I'm going to create Sandhya user with this credential. So let me create Sandhya user. So what I did, I created Sandhya user, but here I'm following principle of least privilege. Principle of least privilege means I'm only giving Sandhya access of one bucket, and even in that bucket, she can only read. Other than that, she cannot do anything. Let me do. So she copied the link. She went to her window. So she pasted the link to access her AWS account given to her by Parul Kundra, SpringPeople. So let's see what she can do, what restrictions she right now I have given. I have followed principle of least privilege. So username was Sandhya, Sandhya, and the password is Sandhya. Okay, let me do something. Let's see whether. So now Sandhya is inside her AWS account. So Sandhya is my second employee, but with a restriction of something. What is the restriction? I have only given her one permission, S3. So simply she went on S3. So when she simply clicked on S3, she can list all the buckets. Why? Why all the bucket of Parul Kundra? Because coming back again, you please see the policy. No, don't get confused. So please see the policy. So this is where I called you for. I called you to understand the policy. So again, I'm clicking on IAM, and I wanted to show you that why she is able to list all my bucket. Because when I clicked on policy, try to understand. When I click on policy, and when I click on S3, and in S3, which policy? Customer managed policy. And when I click on this policy, S3 read policy for read only, when I click, why she is able to see all my bucket? Because of this. If I remove this, she won't be able to. And for all resources I've given. And next, she can only list the content of bucket, read the content of bucket. Get object means read the object. List the bucket means list the object. Of which bucket? Policy based bucket only. So now let's go back and prove you this. Now this is Sandhya accounts. So she knows very well that she can only work in policy based bucket, but she wanted to try something on demo policy bucket. So simply clicked on. She said, let's try. Let me do something which Parul has not given me. So if I have not given you, so trust me, you have insufficient permission. So for demo policy bucket, you can't do anything. Even you can't see what object I have. So she went back to a bucket again. I said, Sandhya, only policy-based bucket. Sandhya said, okay, Parul. So now she clicked on policy-based bucket. Now see that. Now you see that. What she can do. First of all, she can list all the objects in my bucket, and she can read, only read. No, again, going back to Parul Kundra's account, get object means only read. Now try to understand. When I am in Sandhya account, so if she tries to read objects, she simply clicked on object, and she simply click on open, and she can see herself. So unfortunately, this is an image of a female. So Sandhya, she can see. But if she try to do something other than get object, will she? If she try to delete this, let's see whether she can delete this object. So she simply selected the object, and she's trying to delete the object. Let's say whether she can delete the object or not. So she's trying to delete the object, delete. Will she be able to do that? Oh no, fail to delete the object. Even she is not able to delete, forget about deleting, she won't be able to upload anything on this bucket. So she tries to upload something. So she simply clicked on upload. She clicked on add file. And when she clicked on add file, let's say she wanted to add and upload employee 4 image, anything, S3 something. And when she tries to click on upload, upload means try to understand, my dear participant. See how granular I am. What I'm saying that Sandhya, you can list all my bucket, but you can only work on policy based bucket. And what you can do in that bucket, only you can read the content and you can list the object. Other than that, you won't be able to do anything. Now I'm following principle of least privilege. Similarly, I would love to show you some more policies like this. So if I show you this policy, which I have created, let me show you this policy. If you see this policy, I know you can easily understand. So what she can do, she is allowed to list all the bucket, and she is allowed to list the object, and she is allowed to upload the object. Where? In policy based bucket. But if she try to read the object, she won't. She can upload. Put object means she can upload. Other than that, she won't be able to do anything. Now, this is what I wanted to explain you. What is this? Coming back to the next part of presentation. Now, I think you have understanding of this slide. Now you understand what is the meaning of S3 full access or EC2 read only. So now you have understood. Oh, okay. So Parul, these are nothing but, AWS managed policy. Now we know something more than that. We know customer managed policies as well. Now creating an IAM user, I already did that. Now I already did this lab. Now I'm going to tell you two type of policies: identity based policies and resource based policy. Please listen it to me very carefully, and this is going to increase your understanding on policies. Now basically, my dear participants, there are two type of policies: identity based policies and resource based policy. Hey Parul, what do you want to say by this? I said I wanted to show you one picture. So this is when you wanted to give someone permission. So you can give permission to someone via identity based policies and resource based policies. So when you give someone a policy, so when you give policy to a user or to a group or to a role, so as of now we don't know group, don't know role, forget. So when you give something to a user, that type of policies are called identity based policies. So all this S3 read only policy, S3 full access, EC2 read only, EC2 full access, and one I have created are all identity based policy. But there are some resource based policies as well. Now what is resource based policy? So now resource based policy, when you assign that policy to a resource, so I'm going to reverse the scenario. Now the reverse scenario is that this bucket, for this bucket I'm going to write a policy, and I'm going to write a policy that who can access me, and if they are accessing me, what they can do. So if I'm doing something like that and I'm writing a policy for a resource, then that is called resource based policy. So resource based policies are assigned to resource. What is S3? So S3 is a resource. What is SQS? Simple queue is a resource. What is Lambda? Lambda is a resource. So when I'm writing a policy not for user, for a resource, then that is called resource-based policy. And this resource-based policies are checked when someone tries to access a resource. If someone will try to access this resource, will be checked. Hey, you are allowed or you are not allowed. It will be checked. Let me show you a resource-based policies. Let me show you now. So let me show you a resource-based policies as well. Now coming back, you really wanted to see a resource-based policies? Yes, Parul. So what I created one bucket, and the name of bucket is SpringPeople. So let me click on SpringPeople. Before I click on SpringPeople, I told you that whatever bucket you click, whatever resource you click, every resource has a ARN number. So Parul, you created two users today, Sandeep and Sandhya. Will they also have a resource ARN number? I said 100% they will have a ARN number. You don't trust me? Never trust Parul Kundra. You go to resource, you go to users, whatever you wanted to search. You wanted to search Sandhya. So you simply click on Sandhya. When you click on Sandhya, Sandhya will also have a proper Amazon resource name, and the proper resource name is this. Fine. And if I go back on users list, and if I show you Sandeep, even Sandeep also has a proper ARN number. Sandeep also has a proper ARN number. So this is Sandeep ARN number. Now Parul, why you are showing all these things? Are you wasting our time? I said no, because whatever I'm teaching, I know what to teach. Now when I'm going to show you resource-based policy, when you write policy for a resource, what is my resource? All my S3 are resource. So SpringPeople is my one resource. And in order to, so I wanted how this resource should be accessed. So in the permission section of my resource, see what I have written. I have written one thing. And one thing which I have written is that, hey, I have written a bucket policy. So this is called bucket policy. Bucket policy is so resource-based policy. So this is nothing but a JSON document, and read the policy now. So whatever SID is something which you can write a comment on. So effect allowed. So those who are getting this bucket are allowed for what? So here let me write a difference. When I gave my certification exam, I got this question. Let me tell you, yes, I got this question. In identity based policy, there are major three elements: effect means allow or deny; action means what he is allowed, put object, get object, delete object; and resource, which resource. So policy, RES. So these are, so when I talk about identity based policy, these are three elements. But when I talk of resource-based policy, there are 4 elements: effect, action, resource, and other than that, it also has principle. So trust me, I got this exam question in my certification exam. In resource-based policy, what an extra element you have is a principle. Principle means who can access my bucket. Now you read this. Now you read this. So effect, allow, principle, who can. So there is one user in my account and his name is S3 user of bucket policy. So only this user can access this bucket. And what he can do, he can get object and he can list the bucket, means list the object. And which bucket? S3 SpringPeople bucket. So only this user, other than that, no user will be able to do. And this user will be able to access this bucket. So let me show you a user. So in that case, Parul, show us a user. So I'm not going to create a user. I'm going to show you S3 user of bucket policy. So let me take you to my AWS account and let me show you. So I went to my AWS account. I clicked on user and I'm searching a user with name this. I got this user. Let me click on user. So when I click on user, you see, so in my user, I have only given one permission. First of all, that, hey, my user, you can list all the bucket. Other than that, he has no permission. See, understand this. I said, so when I am giving him permission only, then he can list all the bucket. And trust me, he has no permission other than that. But this user will be able to access a bucket. Which bucket? SpringPeople bucket. Because in the SpringPeople bucket, I have given a permission of S3 user of bucket for this user. And for what he can do, get object and list object. So how to do that? So again, you know how you can do that. You go to user's credentials. So you go to his credentials. You just copy his AWS link via which he'll be access his account. So let me replace Sandhya by this user. So let me do that. Meanwhile, let me copy. So this is the, meanwhile, let me copy the username. So username is, so what is the username? So username is S3 user of bucket policy. Let me copy this. And let me go here. Okay. And the password. Now see. Now see this. Is he able to list all the bucket? Yes, I have given him one permission. This is identity-based policy. Because of identity-based policy, he can list all the bucket. But other than that, I have created one more bucket, which is SpringPeople bucket. And for SpringPeople bucket, I have written a permission only for him. I've written a permission only for him. So let me see SpringPeople bucket. Let me click on SpringPeople bucket. So who is clicking? I'm not clicking. This user is clicking. S3 user of bucket policy. He can see object, and if you want, he can open this. And let me do one thing. Let me try to upload something. Not me. This user is trying to upload something. Let's say something like this, where the upload failed because in bucket policy. Now try to understand, in resource based policy, I have clearly mentioned that who can access me and what he can do or she can do. So basically, my dear friends, there are two type of policies. Identity based policy, when you write policy for a user, for a group, for a role. And when you write policy for a bucket, for a resource, you write a resource-based policies. Fine. So I've already written a policies. So I'll show you the slide as well. So this is what I've already. So I'll be showing you this policy as well right now. Now this is resource-based policy and this is identity-based policy. So let's say I give this policy to one of you. Let me take a name of one of you. So let me take a name of Rajesh. So we have Rajesh Kumar here. So let's say to Rajesh, I'm giving this. So if I'm giving this policy to Rajesh, so what is the meaning of this? I'm saying, hey, Rajesh. Rajesh said, yes, Parul. I said, you are allowed. He said, thank you, Parul. I said, she said, Parul, what I am allowed for? I said, action. I said, okay, you are allowed for a start instance and you are allowed for a stop instance. He said, Parul, in your account, there are 100 servers. Instance means servers. With what? I said, wait. I'm giving you a proper ARN number of servers. The server is in my account and it is in Mumbai. AP South 1 is Mumbai. And the ID of these two servers are this. Means only to these two servers you can start and stop. Other than these two servers, you can't do anything. Let me show you this. This is deny policy. So if I'm giving this policy to Aarti, I'm saying, hey Aarti. Aarti said, yes, Parul. I said, you are denied. He said, Parul, for what? I said, you are denied for any action on EC2. He said, which resource, Parul? I said, there is one resource in my account and the resource is in Mumbai in my account. That is the instance and the ID of this is that. And this is resource-based policy, which I've just shown you. And that I've shown you a policy like this. Now, the main question coming in your certification exam is how policies are evaluated. And this is, I'm going to dedicate this to a user, last user, Aarti. So Aarti is going to do going with that options. Now try to understand how policies are evaluated. So policies are always evaluated with a security perspective. Now, what is security? If anything is explicitly denied, then that is denied. If anything is explicitly allowed, then allowed. And if nothing is written, then it is automatically denied. I'm not getting, Parul. I'm totally not getting what you are trying to teach. I said, I know you are not getting. I said, I have few services like EC2. So I have 10 EC2s. I have S3. I have 22 S3. I have IAM. In my IAM, there are 35 users. I have CloudWatch. I have so many services. So I'm saying, Aarti, you are allowed for EC2. So 100%. So I'm saying you are allowed for EC2. So she said, thank you. I'm allowed for EC2. So yes, you're allowed for EC2. So is anything explicitly denied? I said, yes. In this 10 EC2, you are allowed for 8 and you are denied for 2. So what will happen, So she won't be able to do anything on 2. She is allowed for 8. So is anything explicitly allowed? Yes. So first of all, it will be checked denied. So first of all, this will be checked. This is the first option. Then this will be the second option. And if have I said anything on S3 on IAM on CloudWatch? Have I said anything, Aarti, to you? Aarti said no. So you are implicitly denied. So you are implicitly denied. In your home, a father is saying, we have chocolates, we have chips, we have burgers, we have pizzas in our home, but you are allowed for chips. So if you're allowed for chips or for so you're allowed for, let's say, chips or wafers, you're allowed only for that. If nothing is said for that, it is not. It is implicitly denied. You are denied. I know it is getting confused. So let's do one thing. So what am I doing? I'm going to explain you things very clearly. So what am I doing? I'm creating one more user to make you understand what exactly I'm trying to say. How deny is getting a higher priority. Now let's see. What am I doing? I'm going on user and I'm creating a last user of a day and I'm creating a user Aarti. So how I'll create a user? I'll simply go to IAM and I'll simply click on user and I'll create a user and the user name is Aarti. So ARTI Aarti. And I wanted to provide a management console. Yes. I wanted to create an IAM user 100%. What is the password? Password is, okay. So this is the password which I have created. Now see what am I doing? I'm clicking on next. And I am going to attach a policy directly. And here, what am I doing? I'm again going to make a big mistake, EC2. And the big mistake I'm doing here is what? I'm giving Amazon EC2 full access. So Aarti, I'm saying you can do anything on EC2. In any region, you can do anything. So she simply he clicked on that particular Amazon EC2. So no, so I am giving her full access. Now went on next and created a user. Now, as of now, as per your understanding, Aarti is a user which is created with a permission of S3 full access. Now let's check that. So let me go and copy the link. So Aarti copied the link. She went to his console. She pasted the link. Now see. Now try to understand how policies are evaluated. If you understand this, then you will understand the meaning of. So user is Aarti. and the password, let's check whether she is able to access AWS account or not. Yes, she is able to access, and she know very well that Parul has given her full access on EC2. So she simply went on EC2. Now see what wonder she can do. Means what blunder, I must say. For my side, it's a blunder. For her side, it's a wonder. But now one instance is running. Now she let's say what she can do. She simply clicked here. She can see all the instances, and she checked all the instances. And now she is going to, going to give me a good cost. So she selected all the server. She went on instance state and she started the instance. Not only in Mumbai. So see, all servers are coming in a pending state, and all server will start within a second. Not only in Mumbai, even she went on Ohio. Ohio also I have a servers. So because I gave her S3 full access, now she can do something, something very bad today. Now she went on Ohio. Now Ohio, she can see Deloitte server, my EC2 server. She simply clicked on, hey, I am going to teach a lesson to Parul today. So what she's going to instance state and she's going to terminate an instance. Will she able to delete my server where my application? Yes, successfully terminated. My God. Now, because if I go and see the policy, if I go see the evaluation of policy, so is anything explicitly denied? Nothing. Is explicitly allowed? Yes, everything. So she is doing everything on EC2. Now I'm going to restrict her. How I'm going to restrict her? Now see. Now see how deny is having a higher priority. I am going to show you one thing. What one thing? Let me take you to my account. When I have given her a S3 full access, let me return to user list. Then I realized one thing. I don't care that what she can do, but she don't. But she don't. She should not. She should not do anything on this server. She should not start or stop this server. As of now, she can do anything on this server as of now. So let me take, it's an Aarti account. Let me take her to Mumbai. As of now, she can do anything to test server. But test server is very important for me. So, so understand this. So she simply clicked on test server. It's running. So in front of you, she started a server. Now, if she wants, she can stop a server. I'm not terminating a server, but as of now, she can also see it's going on a stopping state. But soon after that, I realized, no, Parul, you made a blunder. Test server is something which is very important. No matter what you have given to Aarti, but you have to restrict for deny. So what am I going? I'm going on user list. I'll search Aarti, and I'll simply click on Aarti, and I'm going to show you how deny is having a more precedence than allow. I'm going to add permission, and I'm going to add permission. And for adding a permission, I'm going to attach a policy. And for EC2, I've created one policy which I would love to show you. And I've already shown you on a PPT, but yes, I'm going to on a customer palette policy. So EC2 deny policy. So let me show you what this policy is. So this policy is for C88. So what she's denying on any operation. See, if I'm giving this policy to Aarti, she will be denying on any operation of EC2, start instance, stop instance, terminate instance, you change user data, anything. She won't be able to do anything on which server? A server which is lying in Mumbai in my account, and server ID is C2888. And what is this server? C2888. C2888 server is C2888 is test server. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say, Aarti, let me teach you one lesson. So I'm going to click this. Where I'm clicking this? To whom I'm going to give this permission? I'm going to give this permission to whom? Aarti. Which permission? Deny permission. For which server? Especially for this server. No matter she has full permission. Full, but she won't be able to do anything of this server. So I'm adding a permission. As of now, Aarti is thinking that she can do anything. But now see how deny is taking a priority. So she's now, let me show you Aarti's condition. So this is Aarti user. Now Aarti is having two policies, one full access, one deny policy. And in deny policy, she will not be able to do any operation on this server. Now let's go to Aarti's account. So this is Aarti's account. Right now she has stopped this server. Now will she be able to start server right now? We'll go to instance state and we'll click on start instance. Oh my God. Let me show you the beauty. No, 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 Aarti, you won't be able to do anything on this server as of now. I'm sorry, Aarti, because deny is taking more precedent. No matter you have S3 EC2 full access, but what I did, I made deny the higher priority. So when deny is having a higher priority, you won't be. Other than that, you will be able to do on any servers. Let me teach you that. So if you want to stop this server, API server lab, you can do. You go to instance state. You wanted to stop this server, you can. So if you wanted to stop this server, you won't get any error, any error. So you will see that this is stopping. But let me tell you, you won't be able to do anything on this server, because what I have taught you is this. When if anything is explicitly denied, no matter you have full access or what, deny will always take a priority. Deny will always take a priority. In my next webinar, here only I'm going to disclose you that what will be my next webinar. In my next webinar, today I'm only dealing with one account. In my next webinar, I'll be dealing with multiple accounts. When I'll be dealing with multiple accounts, how security will be taking place in that case, how you will be jumping from one account to multiple accounts. These are going to be my next agenda in my next webinar, and I'm going to show you all those things, how you can do all those things. To make it sure, this is very important. Deny will always have a higher priority, no matter you have full access, but this will always have a higher priority. But Parul, you are hiding one slide. Why you are not telling this slide? So it's nothing. Let me teach you something more. What something more? So see, my dear participant, actually what happens when you give someone any policy, so there are two type of policies. So when you create a user, so if I'm not creating a user, I'm showing you. So whenever you are creating a user, so let me click on user. So whenever I'm creating a user, let's say user is myself, Parul. Why should I create anyone? I should give credit to me also. I'm teaching. Let me create Reha. RHEA. Fine. So Reha is always, Kaushik is always helping me from these webinars. So let me create them. So when I click on next, so password is, let's say, anything. Let me click on any password there. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, and let me click on it. So what this slide is talking about. So see, when you attach any policies, now there are two type of policies. AWS there are two types. AWS managed policy and AWS job functions. So job function is admin access, billing access. No, anything on job function, you can select job function. If you click on job functions, so these are job, billing, database, data scientist. So these are pre-created policies. So if you see this slide, so don't see that Parul is changing. So AWS has created two type of policies. One pre-created policy for user, and also for user, but related to job functions, admin access, billing access, whatever. And one I created, my EC2 policy, my S3 policy. So there are, but there is one more policy. If you are really, no, you really wanted to understand one more policy, yes, there is one more policy which I can create only for a user, and that is called inline policy. So let me explain you that as well. Let me click on user. Let me continue. So let me select a user called Sandeep, SAN. So I've started with Sandeep. I'll end with Sandeep. So if I wanted to create a policy only for Sandeep, so for that case, when I'm adding a permission, in that case, I can create inline policy. So what policy? Sandeep said, Parul, you only gave me EC2 read only. Please give me permission of stopping servers. Aarti has started so many servers. I wanted to stop servers. Parul, please. I said, okay. So I can create policy only for Sandeep. And when I delete Sandeep, this policy will also delete it. Now try to understand. When you delete user, customer managed policies and AWS policies which are attached to him will not be deleted, or her will not be deleted. But when you delete a user, so the inline policy you attach will also be get deleted. So here I'm creating a policy for Sandeep, which is for EC2, because he said, Parul, I wanted to stop servers. I wanted to stop because Aarti has started so many of your servers. I said, okay. I said, so what actions? I wanted to give him a policy of stop service. So stop, I'll write stop. So let me write stop. So yeah, stop. So this is the action. So EC2. What resource? If I select specific, then I have to add ARN number of those servers. Or I said, no, I'm giving you permission because Aarti has started so many servers. So Sandeep, I'm giving you a permission that you can stop, only stop. You cannot start, you can only stop. So this policy I'm creating only for Sandeep, and let me click on next. And I'm giving a policy name as Sandeep policy. Sandeep policy. So I'm creating a policy only for Sandeep. So this is inline policy. And please make a note of it. This policy is only for user. It cannot be attached to anyone else, and it will automatically get deleted when you delete a user. So let me create a policy. So what I did, I created a policy, and this policy is inline policy. Inline policy. So when you click this policy, you will understand that how I started with Sandeep. Now Sandeep, I said, hey Sandeep, happy good news for you. You are allowed. He said, thank you, Parul. I said, you are allowed for stopping instances. He said, thank you, Parul. For which instances? I said, let me give you a good news. All the instances. Star wildcard. No, all. I'm not giving any proper ARN number. I'm saying you can stop all the instances. Now let's go to Sandeep's account. Let's see whether he can do all those things or not. Let's do that. So let's go to security credentials, and let's copy the credential, the console link. Let's replace Aarti with Sandeep, and do boom, boom, boom. Before you go for a 3 minutes, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Now this is where comes Sandeep. Sandeep. And the password is SAND. Okay. And let me click on sign in. And don't worry, I'm going to delete all this user. Oh my God. I think I forgotten the password, Sandeep. I'm so sorry. Now I have a sharp memory now. So I'm inside Sandeep's account, and let's see what Sandeep can do. So Sandeep went on to EC2 service in Mumbai. Now he wanted to check whether he can say, oh my God, Parul, 5 servers are running. I said, I already gave you a permission of stopping the servers. So he selected all the 5 servers, boom, boom, and boom. And let me check it. Let me check this. This is what I'm not doing. Sandeep is doing. He went on instance state and he clicked on stop instance and he simply clicked. Is he able to? Yes. Yes. But let me give you a bad news. If Sandeep's trying to become extra smart here, will not be able to do anything, because if Sandeep's trying to start a server, if we go to the instance state and if it's trying to start a server, I'm sorry, you are going to get a big message, a big red box. Hey, you are not allowed, because Parul has only given you a permission of stopping a server. So this was the whole agenda of today's discussion. I've already shown you all these policies on a console, and over to you, Reha. It's all 60 minutes went. Hi, Reha, over to you.
Great. Thank you, Parul. This was a very invaluable insights on technology, and I'm sure it was certainly a very informative session for all the participants. Now, if you are interested in learning more about AWS course, check out our super discounted batches of virtual instructor LED trainings on our website, springpeople.com. These VILT trainings can be accessed online from the comfort of your home and are flexible according to your schedule and locations. We have special offers. AWS Solutions Architect Associate 75 to 80% off. Systems Operations on AWS 75 to 80% off. AWS Cloud Practitioners Foundational Level Course 30% off. AWS Skill Builder 70% off. If you don't find any suitable batches, we'd be happy to discuss and schedule private batches for you. If you don't have time to join live online, try our affordable self-paced courses. For more information, write to us at training@springpeople.com or call on the number displayed on the current slide. Now we will open the forum to answer questions that we have received during the session. So let's get our questions answered. Over to you, Parul.
Thank you so much. So any questions you have? Let me see. I can't see any questions. If you have any questions, you can type. I would love to answer those questions. If you have any questions in your mind, do attend the next webinar, which I'll take it further, this webinar itself. And if you have any questions, I would love to address those questions. So I can't see any question as of now, if I'm not wrong. So, okay, but if you're here, do let us know about your feedbacks as well. And let me check if I have any questions. I think I don't have any questions as of now. If you have any questions related to this topic, anything you wanted to understand on S3, AWS, any service you wanted to ask. You should ask from this only. If you have anything which we have used today as CEC2, you can ask.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Thank you, everyone, and we appreciate you being here. We shall be sending out the webinar recording to all you participants soon. I request you to kindly provide feedback before signing off, which will help us improve the quality of our future events. Thanks again for joining us today. Signing off on behalf of Team Spring People, hope to see you again for our next expert webinar. Thank you.